it down.
And he was, again, it's just hard to picture a fifth outfielder on this team, but I mean, he has played so well, and everybody knows about, the offense has to take another step, but in terms of a piece, a late inning defensive replacement as Goodrum strikes out. Ron Gardenhire certainly sounded intrigued by the possibility. It would not be a surprise based on his performance and his speed, Jack. Somebody that you could use as a pinch runner late in games, and if there was a need for it, that fourth outfielder who could maybe be a defensive replacement late in games, because it's premium.
Well, especially
defense.
this year. You start an extra inning game with a runner on second. He would be a prime candidate if he's been on the bench.
Gardy's hinted as much, and I think he'd love to have him. But again, the numbers right now don't appear to afford, even with 30 men, the luxury of a fifth outfielder. Again, if your bench is Castro, Griner, Mercer, Reyes, that fifth spot probably belongs to Dowell Lugo. And if not Lugo, maybe somebody with more position flexibility like a Brandon Dixon. But just remember, Derek Hill has taken great strides. Last year,
he could be
offensively, and in camp, he has looked fantastic.
What I've seen of him, and it's a small sample size, but I've been told by several guys that have watched him through the minor leagues, he might be the best defensive outfielder we have. He's in the argument.
And people feel like he'd be one of the best center fielders in the major leagues if he came up.
Well, think about that. If you're better than Jacoby Jones, Jacoby's pretty good.
Yeah, he is. Fastball a little bit high. It was a slider, actually, that hung high.
He struck out Nico on a changeup, so seeing a little bit of off-speed pitches from Alex Line.
Man on, 2 outs, 8-1, team slim. We're in the fifth inning. First inning of work. Whoa, fastball up and in.
That's scary.
93. A smile, nervous smile on the face of Jonathan Scope as he goes and has a word with Miguel Cabrera in the on-deck circle.
That's a wake-up call, and that scares the heck out of you.
Like you said, your worst nightmare.
Yeah.
Pitching against your teammates, and the last thing you want to do is hit anybody. I
think that's Haas catching now, isn't it?
It is indeed. Scope digs back in. He's got a 3-1 count. The pitch from Alex Lang. Slider hangs high, and he draws a walk. So lost his command there after striking out Goodrum, and you lose your command, and there are 2 men on, 2 outs, and Miguel Cabrera is stepping to the plate.
They'll make you pay for that walk, right?
His first exposure to quote-unquote major league action. This is different than if you were in Florida, don't you think, Jack? Just because you're in a major league ballpark and you're getting this exposure for the first time versus an exhibition game in Lakeland, do you think there's any difference, any value in being here instead of in a minor league ballpark?
Well, there's value in the fact that if down the road you climb the corporate ladder and get called back up to the big leagues, you've already pitched on this mound.
Yeah.
You've played on this field, and you're hoping that maybe the next time, there's 45,000 here.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's value there. It's legit. This is one of the biggest, nicest ballparks in baseball, in my opinion. I would have loved to have pitched here.
Love this ballpark. You just can't dial in that slider right now. It's hanging high. That might have been the curveball, but neither one right now is a pitch that's darting and diving for him. Fastball's been 93 in the 93 range, but now you're behind Miguel Cabrera 2-0. 2 on and 2 outs. Miguel with a single and a double. Watch out right here. Nope, fastball not close. CJ Crone waiting in the on-deck circle.
Miggy's showing that fancy footwork right there, and then he caught a spike, almost fell over.
Dixon's the runner at second. Scope is at first. The 3-0. Couldn't throw anything close to a strike to Miguel Cabrera. We have not seen a pitching change during an inning at any time in these inter-squad games. What happens if you want to just shut the inning down? We've seen what we saw in the top half of the inning. The inning just comes to an end.
Right.
With 1 out, that's enough. 2 outs, that's it. C.J. Crone steps to the plate.
The reason for that, Dan, is obvious. You just only have X amount of pitchers to throw today, so you don't want them to have to make up for your long inning.
Sergio Alcantara's base runner at first, pinch running for Miguel Cabrera. Hottest guy going right now. C.J. Crone takes a fastball outside. So back-to-back walks, and he's now missed with 9 of his last 10 pitches. Alex Lang, a starter, converted to bullpen at Erie. He got a chance to work in games where he saw the terrific trio, really 4 pitchers making up that Erie rotation. Scuba Mize, Manning, and Faedo.
Nice tight little slider there. And just 1 pitch away from getting out of a jam. Bases loaded here with 2 walks.
Crone today has popped out and struck out. He's been launching balls all over this ballpark. Let's see it pull power deep to left. Pops up the fastball here, and that will get Lang out of a jam. Castro makes the catch, couple of walks, load the bases, but C.J. Crone pops out, and in his summer camp debut, Alex Lang does not give up a run and stands 3. We head to the 6th inning. It's been all team slim today. Ivan Nova had a tough time, just a lot of hard contact, and again, the value hopefully for him is he got his work in.
Well, it is value. No question about it.
Jake Rogers is the new catcher for Buck Farmer. Team Miggy. Buck Farmer will come out of the bullpen. We've seen Manning, Ramirez, Schreiber, and Lang so far. For Team Slim, Manning with the first 2 innings. My brain in my scorecard.
So Spencer Torgelson's going to take over at third base. And the first baseman.
Scope and Schwindel at first, Torkelson at third. Torkelson out working early today with the 2 he's been working with every day as he moves to a new position from first base. At Arizona State, where they really felt like he was athletic enough to play anywhere on the infield. But he ended up mostly at first base. Alan Trammell and Ramon Santiago out working with him today with that pancake glove that we've talked about, which just helps you center the ball. With those good mechanics, just kind of those drills that have been around for ages, right? Down on your knees, taking ground balls, and just getting those actions ingrained in your brain. But what a thing for him, Jack, to be able to work on a major league field with a Hall of Famer and a guy does a pretty darn good job, Ramon Santiago.
Yeah, both those guys are just excellent teachers. I can't say enough about both of them. They have the passion and will to try to convince guys, who wouldn't buy into what they're trying to teach them.
Yep.
I mean, it's just, especially a young guy like Torkelson, is just all ears.
Fly ball high in the air to right, fairly deep, but playable.
One pitch, one out.
One pitch and one out indeed. Willie Castro, pretty good swing there.
He just missed it. It was right on it. Underneath it, just a touch.
Brady Palicelli is the new right fielder. Still Bonifacio in center and Brandon Dixon in left. Buck Farmer. Still low 90s fastball. To give you an idea of, I was just watching bullpens this spring, Jack, and it just reminds you of how getting onto a mound in game action drives the adrenaline and often velocity. Now, you're watching guys who are mid-90s fastball guys. They've all got the Rapsoda machines, and the video analysts are out there holding. I mean, you can see what they're throwing in bullpens. And I mean, these are bullpens where they're letting it fly, but guys that are mid-90s are topping out at 88, 89, 90. Then they get in the game and it's 95, 96. And for me, I mean, this, but for me, it was eye-opening that it makes that much of a difference. You just can't get to a certain level in the bullpen, but you get in the game and that adrenaline kicks in and it's totally different, isn't it?
I think there's a similar characteristic with most major league pitchers. They want to be the best, and they feed off another guy. They say, you can do that. Well, I can do one better. And I'm going to show you right now. And then, of course, the other guy goes out and he tops it. And I think competitiveness amongst the team is wonderful. I think it made Dan Petrie and myself as good as we could be. We pulled for each other. Truly, truly did. But we were competitive. We wanted to.
With each other.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think that was the best thing that could happen to either one of us.
And that's why velocities are down in an inter-squad game. It's kind of just a step above sometimes maybe a bullpen. And then the next step up would be an exhibition. And then regular season, it's hard to describe. But it's just another level of intensity. When you're watching it, and I can only imagine what it's like for a player on the field.
Mm-hmm. Now this guy, number 45, Buck Farmer, I love him. I think he's so valuable to this ball club. And he's found himself a very interesting role. I don't think he gets enough love for what he actually does and contributes. But he's certainly got better and better and better. Back-to-back changeup for strikeouts.
Terrific changeup. Right? So 1, 2, 3 inning for Buck Farmer, and he didn't need many pitches to do it. It will be his only inning of work today. Jose Cisnero is expected to work the 7th, and perhaps, we think, the final inning today, 7-inning outing or 7-inning intra-squad game. The itinerary has the Tigers flying out tomorrow to Cincinnati. Not the norm, but you wonder if that might become the norm some days this year, traveling the day of a game versus the day before, if it's an off day.
Yeah.
Don't know. But anyway, tomorrow they're flying out. The schedule is to fly out at noon tomorrow. And then the 2 night games in Cincinnati. And the season opener is coming up on Friday. 3 games against I think a really good Reds team. Remember, all the action this year is going to be within the Central Divisions in the American and National Leagues, and these divisions are not pushovers by any stretch of the imagination. The Reds, I think, are a rapidly improving team. There's a lot to like if you're a Reds fan. Last year, I think everybody just kind of kept waiting for them to break out. Cardinals certainly have some talent. The Cubs have some talent. Sure. The Pirates are near the bottom. Milwaukee certainly has talent. And so, I mean, that portion of the schedule, 20 games against the National League Central, I think 4 of those 5 teams are going to be in the hunt for a playoff spot. And then in the American League Central, we know about the Twins, a 100-win team. Indians missed the playoffs with 93 wins last year. And every time I look at the White Sox, I was kind of, you keep hearing about their off season, and I find you take a good look at what the White Sox did. That's a really impressive teams.
Sure, and it's up to them to prove that
Yeah.
they're going to be as good as everybody thinks.
Yeah, they're a 70-win team.
Kansas City, I think, has improved. I don't look at any team and say, I think they went backwards. And if there is one, it might be Cleveland.
Right.
But we'll see.
Terry
They've got some really good young arms. And Terry is as good as there is.
As good as there is. I haven't looked at the number, but I'm assuming this is Zach Hess.
It is.
Taking over on the mound. Again, both Zach Hess and Alex Lang added to the 60 in camp.
Got a unique delivery. He breaks his hands and has